Hey everybody. Hello and welcome. It is Tuesday and it is 5:30 on the Pacific coast of the United States. I am Rich Teslo and this is the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. It's good to be with you guys. Want you guys to know, for those who are not familiar with this, the chat has been going off for a long time. Like, the chat's been going off for at least 30 minutes before the show started, and certain people in there, like Allison, have been there 24 hours at a time. Kevin, welcome. Jason, welcome. Allison, welcome. Geek of all trades. We got a good cast. I even saw Levix in there earlier. So, I guess I should get to the housekeeping, right? That's the thing I was supposed to do. So let's get to it. This is the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. This is all about hanging out with people, talking about Homelab things, talking about some of the videos that Two Guys Tech make, I make, and just hanging out and ask questions if you got questions. This is what it's, we have a lot of stuff. This show, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Join our Discord. Discord is something that I'm super, super proud of. It is really, if I leave one thing behind in all of this man hours and efforts that I have spent making content, making videos, making connections, is that there's a community behind this, and everyone in that community is helpful and fun, and join it. That's ultimately that's what I give to the world. That's my gift. Anyway, Brandon, who is usually the guy behind the scenes running all the knobs and stuff, is actually, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Brandon's off. He's getting married. So congratulations to Brandon. Super, super happy for him. So it's just me, is what I'm saying. So if this is kind of if this isn't great, it's my fault. That's what I gotta say. But West Coast, best coast. Well, yeah. So my hat just fell off over here. You guys didn't hear that. So, yeah, let's get to the show. I've got so much that I want to talk to you guys about, and I think that audio is just a little too loud. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend like it's just me pressing the knobs. There. You guys didn't have a problem there. Let's get to it. Let's start with the big stuff I want to talk about. Like, let's hop right into it, because I want to. Let's start with this. Finally, after weeks of talking and weeks of spending countless hours and telling you guys all about it, finally the 3D printed server, Homelab server, is done, right? And then I'm just going to press play here. There should not be any audio. I sure hope not. But yeah, just can't be happier with it. Look at this. This thing is a chonker. I mean, it's actually not a chonker, but it's kind of a chonker. A chonker in the sense that it's just super, super heavy. But here it is. It's alive, and you can see it there's rotating on that little rotisserie thing there. Could not be happier with the end result. Could not be happier with it. Sakura, welcome. For a mini ITX case, and I've built other mini ITX systems in the past, but the mini ITX Shadow Technologies, I still want to see it go through airport security. There's a guy in the Discord who's got he's got the number on how to get through security, but it runs like a little beast. It's just so great. I installed TrueNAS scale on it and tested out, did some just want to make sure it was up and running, it was functional. And I know Terry's asking me, I'm going to put a badge on it. I will actually, what I'm going to do, Terry, because you brought this up, we'll get to the giveaway here in a second, but I'm going to ship it. This system, I'm going to ship it with, I'll pull it off here. Stand by, just because I do it. Like, my idea for that, Terry, because you have a good point. Like, why not brand it, even though Two Guys Tech is not a computer company? Here's one of the sides, right? I'm going to print another side that's got a 2GT logo in it. Boy, that just blocks the light there. And that will, and then I'll ship the regular panel without a side. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want people to be able to choose. I don't want to necessarily have a bunch of branded stuff all over. So, I mean, I understand if someone else doesn't want that too. So I'll give people the option. That's, ship it with a Hyper-V badge. You guys, no, they'll, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Whoever the winner of this thing is, I'm going to ask them, do you plan to install Windows Hyper-V on it? If they say yes, I'm just going to invalidate their winning. So what do you say? That's a good idea, right? Does that make me a jerk? Yes, probably. Anyway, but I think that's what I'll do in terms of like a badge for it. Because I am proud of it. I want people to be able to have the choice though if they want it to be badged or not. So that's my plan. I haven't 3D printed it yet. I still have plenty of filament left because I had to buy a ton of it for it. So that's it's a big Broadcom badge. Look at all you people throwing me shade today. I love it. Bring it. Anyway, so I don't have anything bad to say about this. I've had it running. I did some stress tests on it. I did, I installed, like I said, TrueNAS Scale. I installed Proxmox on it, ran some VMs because I just want to make sure everything was good and it wasn't going to like die. Not that don't get me wrong. I didn't expect it to, but I just wanted to make sure that I don't like, here's your giveaway and it's a turd. So it's not a turd. And, I need to, before I ship it out the door, I need to do a wipe on all the drives, make sure they're clean and empty so that whatever gets installed is just clean and fresh and brand new. Look at you, Josh in the chat. Look, this is nice. Anyway, which leads me to the second part of this conversation. And, I'm just rolling through my notes here. And it's right here. Oh, I need to share my screen. Brand's not here to save me. The giveaway runs from last Saturday. Last Saturday is when I officially launched it. That was like guys, I gotta check. There's 25 days left. I'm not good with math, and months are tough. Like the Gregorian calendar is hard for me. So 25 days left of this. Now, I thought about this when I was going to talk about the giveaway and getting signed up. I was like, well, how are we going to get the link on the screen? And people, so this is a bit of a chicken and egg thing, but if I go boom, that is not a QR code that sends you to a Rickroll. That is a QR code that will send you to here. I promise. I should have done a Rickroll. God, I always lean in the wrong direction first. Anyway, you can find a link to this through all of the places where it's all on the socials. It's a post on the two guys. YouTube's got the post section. They call it a community section now. Basically, it's like you can make posts. There's a post there. I made a short, YouTube short with it in there. I'll put it back on the screen again because I know it seems weird that this is just a QR code. What is it for? It'll be a surprise, I guess. Is it a Rickroll or is it a link to my OnlyFans? My only, but it's only fans. Just be clear. It's computer case fans. That's what it is. Just I got some sexy RGB fans, some really some Noctuas. Anyway. There it is. I did want to talk a little bit because I mentioned this in the Discord yesterday that I'm doing this through a company that's called Gleam.io. You guys have all seen. I'm just trying not to look at the chat right now. It's never going to give out Rickrolls. Gleam.io is the facilitator of this, and you guys, I'm sure by this point, everybody who's in this chat has seen a giveaway or contest or sweepstakes done via Gleam.io because it basically has the same thing. By the way, I have to pay to make it look like this, which is fine. I mean, the one thing though is that Gleam provides you a bunch of like security protections and things that it builds into try to weed out the people who are just trying to cheat the system. And I want to tell you that not because I think you're going to cheat, although that is human nature to do it, so I'm not going to blame people for it, but let me tell you about this one individual who went the extra mile, but just his OPSEC was just not great. So I was going through the thing yesterday and it shows you which ones have been invalidated and not. And it doesn't tell people when they're invalidated, which is better or worse. This is the way they do it. But there was a guy who had 5 accounts with all varying versions of an email address that still kind of had his name in it in a weird sense. He had created YouTube profiles. He had created Thread accounts and Blue Sky accounts, and he went through and did all this extra effort, just a ton of effort to make this and make this work and try to subvert the system. But the guy used the same IP address. He came from the same IP address as presumably at his house, and so that system's like, nah, brah. No chance that there's 5 people with roughly the same name at your address just coincidentally. And it just catches it. So I just got to say, Gleam does a good job and makes it fair for people who are just, going to try and be honest and do it. So please, if you're watching this and you don't know who I am, but you love computers and Homelab and you want something really awesome, like my face. That's not what I wanted to show you. This guy here, that guy there. I want everybody to get a chance. I really want this to be a fun, good, successful giveaway. So I'll leave it at that. Brandon gave me a bunch of crap because he's like, why do you want to do this giveaway? I'm like, well, I feel like as YouTubers, tech tubers, whatever you want to. I hate these like names we give ourselves, but like, or that we're given, but we'll get a whole lot of hardware and stuff, right? And I don't use it. Like I use some of it, right? I do the reviews. I make the content around it to inform people, but like at a certain point, you have too much stuff. So I really wanted to do a nice giveaway, something good, and other than the motherboard, which Ministorm sent over as part of a review option or opportunity, like I paid for the whole deal. So I'll leave it at that because that's a lot of words coming from one man about a thing. Just go do the thing. And yes, and I'm running the chats today, so I have to do this. So everybody, but only inside the United States. Allison, I know I've gotten kind of quite a bit of flack for it, and in fair, just to get this shipped as is to another country ends up being hundreds of American dollars. And it just makes it an impossibility. I really hate that I can't open this up to everybody because we got lots of. I know personally that Allison is from another country. He's not from America, and so it bums me out. I have to figure something out that is more digital for a future thing. But anyway, I'm sorry for my international viewers. I really do genuinely care about my international viewers. Yeah, it sucks. And then tariffs. Welcome to America. Tariffs. I know the tariffs. It's not tariffs going out of the country. It's when they go into another country. If they're, yeah. So like Jason Labs just said, he's from Canada, and it's brutal to get stuff. Yeah, it's we live in tough times. But that's the QR code one more time. Click it. I want you to take your camera out while watching this on your computer and go. Anyway, I'm done. But moving on, friends, because that was a whole lot of talk about this, but I'm excited. It's been great. Look at all the entries. It's already a success in my mind. It's already a success. I'm super, super jazzed. Let's get to some other cool stuff. So I wanted to talk about another thing that I had released. It was what I thought was a fascinating interview or just kind of conversation with Jason Yeager, who is the Senior Vice President of Product and Engineering at VergeIO. And, I did a video on VergeOS, which is their hypervisor, their HCI hypervisor entirely platform. And, I thought it was really well done, and went through that whole, it's not available. You can't download it as a Homelab. However, if you watched it, and I understand because it's a very specific type of content for a specific person, Jason does say in that video that if you want a Homelab copy of VergeOS to run for yourself, that you just got to get a hold of him via LinkedIn and he'll make it happen. So if you want to try it out, run it on a piece of iron and give it a go. All you got to do is do a little extra footwork. And he's promised me I grilled him. There's the grilling I did in the video about like, hey, where's your Homelab version of this? It's really important to the community. It's really important to, future people. And, there's that grilling that's there, but also like preparation stuff, talking to him like, hey, I'm going to talk to you about Homelab stuff. I want you to be prepared because I want to make sure ACP. Now I need another phone to take a picture of my phone. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That should be the theme of today. So VergeOS, you can get a copy. It takes a little extra footwork. They're working on a Homelab version, but the thing that's not in the video that I want to talk about a little bit because I think it's important is he gave me a behind the scenes look at how they're doing the AI integration into VergeOS, and it is fascinating. So they are bringing along, I'm not under an NDA, so I think I can say what I saw from what it was. They're basically making it possible for you to run your LLMs natively inside of the virtualization platform itself. So not in a virtual machine, not in a, they basically have a system that they're building that allows you to either use one of their pre-available LLMs, or you can download your own. I guess eventually that's coming. They'll have like an entire like little store. We can just go, oh, I want this one. I want this, or go to Hugging Face and grab the thing. And then it provides the LLM natively right there. And because you can have multiple GPUs in your stack of hosts, and you can do this stuff, all of a sudden you can run this across a bunch of hosts. You can run it across a bunch of hardware. And it's just, the reason why I think it's kind of game changing is because right now is in terms of like solutions of providing AI, which is a generic sense here, AI to your business. You need to have hardware to run it in, of course, right? You need to have, whatever platform you're bringing up, whether it's going to be in a container and you're doing it container based, or you're doing virtual machines, and they're just like baking it in. And so I asked him a bunch of questions, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling here because it's really, really neat. I was like, well, what if I don't want my users in my network to have to log into VergeOS to access the LLM? And he's like, well, everything is API driven. You want to build a website and do your posts and your gets and everything, and just have it happen via whatever unique user interface you want, you can do it. And I'm like, damn it, that is cool. That is awesome. So that's supposed to drop very, very soon, and I can't wait. He's promised me a copy. I really want to get my hands on it, because just the idea of like not having to like, I don't like the amount of effort it takes to spin up your LLM of choice on hardware. I know that there are tools and systems to do it. You can do it in Windows really easy. There's lots of different, but like as a service, as a system that you can just like choose and deploy, and it's just running and it's accessible by everyone in a company. That's what they're doing. One other thing about it that I just remembered, they've also made the process of feeding it data to basically, I mean, the term is train, I guess, right, in a sense, but there'll be a document repository. So you take your PDFs, your Word documents, the things that you want it to ingest and be knowledgeable on, so you can query it, like your HR, let's say your HR handbook, right? If you're a company, I know that we're veering into enterprise talk here, but like you could, if you had this running, you could easily spin up the LLM. You could dump in your company's employee handbook and then make the LLM available internally for querying and talking to your customers your users, and do that stuff. Instead of paying Microsoft or paying somebody else to do it, you can do it yourself. And I think that is super, super cool. But so that was a great conversation. Jason's a super nice dude. Really appreciate his time, and being able to privately run it on your own gear inside your own organization and control end to end. That's cool. I like that. So we'll show it off when I get a copy of it, whenever that is. And you guys can go ask for a copy too before there's a Homelab version. So I highly recommend you do. I think that's probably fair. Let's move on to the juicy stuff, friends. We got some juicy stuff. I love the chat. Kubernetes and easy in the same sentence. Never. I could have just did this. That is facts. I do enjoy listening to you guys lament your torture of Kubernetes. It's like something I'm not going to do. So you guys can be the ones. All right. Did y'all see this? I know we have lots and lots and lots and lots of Plex users in the audience. And I saw this come in yesterday. I saw it 5 hours after it was announced that, it looks like Plex might have gotten popped. And there was a bunch of articles, but nothing that officially came from Plex, right? I was just seeing news articles. Yep. And so this landed in my mailbox a little bit earlier today, and so I screenshotted it, and I would like to read. I don't often get to read. I read all the time, except not for fun, just for work. So I want to read this to you guys in case you can't easily see it. It says, "Dear Plex user, we have recently experienced a security incident that may potentially involve your Plex account information. We believe the actual impact of this incident is limited. However, action is required from you to ensure your account remains secure. What happened? An authorized third party accessed a limited subset of customer data from one of our databases. While we quickly contained the incident, information that was accessed includes emails, usernames, and securely hashed passwords. What was the hashing algorithm? I ask. Any account passwords that may have been accessed were securely hashed in accordance with best practices, meaning they can't be read by a third party. Out of an abundance of caution, we recommend you immediately reset your password by visiting plex.tv/reset. Rest assured, we do not store credit card information on our servers, so the information was not compromised in this incident. All right, what are we doing? We've already addressed the method that the third party used to gain access to the system, and we're undergoing... Oh, I should scroll this. Sorry. I'm here. What are we doing? We've already addressed the method that the third party used to gain access to the system, and we're undergoing additional reviews to ensure that the security of all of our systems is further hardened to prevent future attacks. What must you do? I'm going to add some dark. We kindly request that you reset your Plex account password immediately by visiting the reset link. When doing so, there's a checkbox to sign out connected devices after password change, which we recommend you enable. This will sign you out of all your devices, including any Plex media servers you own, for security, and then you will need to sign back in with your new password. We understand that this means a little more work for you, but it will provide additional security for your account. Additional security measures you can take. I need to scroll some more. Can I scroll? Oh, that's the bottom of it. The other part of it that they say below is, turn on MFA step by step for your multi-factor. Of course you should have multi-factor. They offer it, so turn it on. Are we crazy here? This is 2025. You should be turning on multi-factor. I know it sucks. I wish we didn't have to use multi-factor. I wish we could have nice things, but we clearly can't have nice things anymore. We just can't. Speaking of that, there was a whole bunch of news articles that came out about it as well. And, fundamentally, it sounds like, someone accessed their stuff. I just want to point out to you guys that it's only been 3 years since Plex got popped last time. You guys remember that, right? 2022, Plex had a data breach where a bad actor infiltrated the system and accessed people's emails, usernames, and passwords. So first time, oopsie. Second time, oopsie. Like I hate to pile on because, that's one of those deals where like you gotta be, look, it's the old George Bush Jr. like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's what he's trying to say. But it's like, fool me, can't get fooled again. You guys remember that? It's funny. I was young back then. Boy, those were simpler times, weren't they? Anyway, no member berries right now. But this is not their first time. And the fact that they accessed yet the same data as last time, and this time they're like, you should really reset that account. And actually, I think that I just read up here that, there's kind of an implication that if you don't reset your account, we might disable it. But I'm just saying, guys, when I saw the thing, I reset mine and I had not turned on multi-factor. And no member berries. That's right. That's right. Game over, Dave. We're gonna stay away from the member berries. Member berries. Well, you can look it up. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of people in chat here right now who are talking about switching to Jellyfin. I don't know if the right reaction to something like this is to knee-jerk jump to another system. I think there's something to be said about the give or take. Pepperidge Farms, remember? Dang it, you guys. There's something to be said about not overreacting or knee jerking to something when something bad happens. Although it is fair to say that being that this happened just 3 years ago, somebody at Plex TV or at the Plex company or corporation should probably be sitting in front of an executive and justifying what they do for security at the company, because that's, again, I've said this a million times. All of us who work in IT, all of us who work in security, we all know deep down inside that we will eventually be on the receiving end of a compromise, because no matter how hard you work, no matter how dedicated you are to the trade or patching or upgrading or firewall configs, it doesn't matter what you do. The reality is that your users and 0 days, they exist. And because of that, it's only a matter of time that eventually you're going to be on the receiving end of a compromise. But 2 in 3 years ain't so good. Yeah. So the chat's, The chat's full of really good opinions here, and let me see if I can grab some here to talk about them. So, what is this one here? Knee jerking, isn't that what Pee Wee? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have clicked on that one. Dang it! I was led to the water. You lead a horse to water, and I'm just gonna click the drink. That's cool. Well, thanks for that one, Geek of All Trades. I appreciate that. Mitchell, welcome. So, yes. So I think that leaving Plex, if you want to take the compromises and the differences that are exist in Jellyfin. I know that Brandon, he moved to Jellyfin, he left Plex, and he says it's really great. He doesn't like the difference between the apps and different devices. Like one of his big complaints about Jellyfin is that if you go and you install the Jellyfin app on a Samsung TV, you'll get one type of user experience, and you go log into, I don't know, a Vizio TV or something like that and install the Jellyfin app there, and the user experience is entirely different. And they're not the same versions. There's differences based on who's the one updating and submitting that. Whereas Plex, because it's a company, at least the user experience is unified across everything. Unless it's really, really old. Like my parents have an old ass Samsung, and like it's a really old Plex, but it's still compatible. So I'm not leaving. Yes, and like Allison said, so many of these apps are just skinned web browsers. That's fair. I mean, you can a good wrapper, right? That's a lot of the sort of stuff. But I'll scroll down here. So whatever you take away from this conversation, whatever you take away from us talking about this and just hanging out, having a good time, is at least change your Plex password. Just change it, set up MFA. If you're do it. No, just do it. We're all adults here, maybe. I don't know. I can't tell what my audience demographic is from a live show, but set up MFA. Use Authy, use Google Authenticator, use the Microsoft Authenticator if you are a glutton for punishment. All of them these days provide backup, so it's not like if you change phones, you're in a bad way here. So let's move on, because that was a lot of talkage about Plex. But scrolling back down here. So check this out. You ready? Buckle up. Just earlier today, this came across one of my feeds. Now this is from Marius at Marius Hosting. He's like, Synology third-party hard drives will be officially supported again in the future. And he makes this assertion based on this response from Synology Germany, Synology DE, that said, or Synology Europe, excuse me, down here, that effectively says, hello, user who asked the pointed question. Thanks for your candid comment. We know that many users would many users would like more flexibility with hard disk drives. We are currently in discussions with manufacturers to ensure that third-party hard drives will be officially supported again in the future. However, this is a process that won't be completed overnight. We'll keep you updated. Thank you for your patience. So I saw this. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of faith. Like, I mean, this could mean anything. And frankly, I still think it could mean anything. I don't think this is, I have to say it in a Dutch accent. I don't think I could do that. I could do it in a German accent because I worked for a German company for like a decade and a half. So I could say, hello, thank you for your candid comment. We know that many users would like more flexibility with their hard drives. Yeah. We're currently in discussion with I'm sorry to all my German viewers. Yeah. So I did a thing. I saw this and I'm like, I reached out to a contact that I have with inside knowledge about from in Synology. Can clip that. Aufspringen. You guys are out going on tangent. I'll talk about the German thing in a second. I reached out to a contact that I have that is connected with Synology, and they confirmed that Synology is in fact working on bringing back non-Synology drive compatibility for Synology NASs. That's all they would say. They wouldn't say anything else. So I think that it's true. It's a fact. This is a fact. Synology sounds like they're going to relinquish. They're going to come back and say, you can have your non-Synology branded drives. We understand. They must have, guys, they must have just gotten beat up financially. I can't think of any other reason they doubled down on it. First, they did the slow roll, right? Let's remind ourselves about what happened here with Synology. First, it was, they were cool with any drives, whatever. You got a drive and it works, that's cool. And then they started to change the Plus series that would give you this warning saying unverified drives, but the drive still worked. And yet we stayed silent. We said nothing. We're like, okay, that's fine. That's weird that you're telling us that. But they had started making their own drives and selling their own branded Synology drives, which were basically Western Digital drives, right? They're big WD drives with just new labels on that said Synology on them, and added like a price tag of like $100 more, depending on the size. Smaller ones were in line with each other, but the expensive ones, like the big, 10, 12, 18, 20 terabyte drives, there was the premium on top of that. Their own drive. Oh, Allison, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Their own drive. Stickers. Love it. Oh, so we just got Ronaldo just asked a question. Hey, which one is better, Synology Photo or Image? Do you own a Synology? Because the nice thing about the Synology Photos is that you can access it if you've got the apps everywhere. I hate to say it, but Image is really nice, but getting to your Image means you either need to have a VPN connection or something like that, whereas Synology apps will just get you through to it. So, so I think that it depends on what you've got. If you like what Synology gives you, Image has got a whole lot of great features though, right? Their whole like face detection and like aligning by groups and sharing. But I think even to this point, Image still says it is still considered beta software. We talked about it in Brandon actually, and I talked about it in one of our podcasts. We talked about it, and like they still call it. Let's look here. Give me Image. Get started. So there was something in here where they said maybe they've changed their wording. Yeah. So this is the scary part, Ronaldo. So if you're still watching. Let me enhance more. Enhance. This is why Image makes me feel weird, is this disclaimer that's literally at the top of their website that says, this project is under very active development. Expect bugs and changes. Do not use this as the only way to store your photos and videos. That is probably the number one reason why I would not use it primarily over Synology Photos, basically. Because if you've got a Synology, use it. When they get this stuff, like when this is all, I'm pointing the wrong direction. When this is all locked down, absolutely. Self-host to your heart's content or do backups. Like you can make your backups, I suppose, too. Yeah, another plus one for Nextcloud. Although Nextcloud's photo stuff, image stuff is not great. It's not. Their plugin for photos is... Nextcloud wants to be everything to everybody, and I think that's a problem. That's something that we can talk about at a later date. Anyway, where were we? Back to this. So yeah, this is big news, and I think that we are headed into the an era now where we might be able to see Synology. Because throw it out in the chat if you agree or disagree with this, but I personally think that Synology has always been the leader because their user experience is amazing. I'm not sponsored by Synology. I don't have any loyalty to any NAS provider, but I will say that the entire Syno user experience is fantastic. It's the kind of thing that if they didn't charge, when they went to the hard drives, it was a different story. Like when they went to their closed source of their hard disk, but it was the kind of thing that before the hard disk change that they made, I would tell people like, hey, you're not a technology person. Get yourself a Synology, go get 2 hard drives, plug them in there, and you'll be good to go. And everybody can do it, right? I'm not putting that on the screen anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not falling for that one. Yeah, Allison, great point. I'll throw that up on let's see here. Allison makes a mention. He says, Synology should have just blacklisted all the SMR drives and be done with it. I'm willing to bet that that's probably what they'll end up doing, right? They'll just come by and say, oh, you need CMR, and then you're good to go, which will put you in like the WD Reds or the Seagate Iron Wolves or the Iron Wolf Pros or the Seagate Red Pros or whatever, the WD Red Pluses and that kind of stuff. But I still think that they need to work on their hardware side of things. I don't think that in Synology, I mean, they built this appliance, so they don't need to have like big honking high performance CPUs in it. You can get 10 gig now on a copper for most of their like larger units. So it's not like it's bad, but it just, ACP said, what did he say? He said, wait, I can use my Mac stores again? Or maybe not. We still don't know. This whole thing is, as long as they're CMRs, you shouldn't be using CMR drives anyway. So anyway, that was big. I thought that was awesome, and glad I got it out in time. Let's talk about a few more things. Yeah, IBM Death Stars. You mean IBM Death Stars? I think that's what we actually call them. Let's hop into. I want to give you a preview because I want to preview something with you guys so you can see it, because I've been trying really hard to get this go. Does anybody here in the chat right now know what this is? I know some of you do. Some probably do. Many probably do not. So I'll give a wait. Like waiting is kind of the thing. All right. Morpheus. Morpheus is a character, but he's also, in this case, Morpheus is from HPE. So HPE Morpheus, what is it? Good question. I still really haven't exactly figured out what it is. It's supposed to be, my connection's not private, guys. I'll try again. I know how to type passwords. Don't judge me. Boom. Let me hit this. So from what HPE Morpheus is a management platform made to connect to, you name it, cloud service, private or public clouds, and allow you to control whatever virtualization, containers, Kubernetes, everything in one place. And HPE just created built out a community edition of Morpheus, which is what this is. I talked about it in a few shows back, a little while back, where basically they had a really weird login or request process where you're like asking what your LinkedIn profile is, and there was a little comment like, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, tell us why instead. Like, and that's none of your business. Maybe I just don't like to have that, but it does a lot of things, or it's supposed to do a lot of things. Yeah, red or blue pill. In this case, I guess it'd be the green pill, because HPE's colors are green, right? Think about it like the Greenfield stuff, whatever. But the idea behind this is that, and I'm guys, I'm just brand new into this as well. So don't be hating on me when I'm like, I'm not exactly sure how this works, because I'm really not. Like, I'm kind of baby steps in this, but essentially you can tie all of your clouds that you have as a business. If you buy this software, these are the clouds that they out of the box support, right? You've got AWS and Azure Stack, which is, that's Azure local stuff. If you have your local Google Cloud, Hyper-V. Where's Terry at? Terry, look, Hyper-V. It's right there. There it is, Terry. It's right there. IBM Cloud, Mac Stadium. I didn't know this, but there's just like a ton. Nutanix, and these can be either on-premise or cloud-based, depending on what they are, like OpenStack. Their own, HPE does have its own hypervisor, and a litany of VMwares, but also XCP&G. I was like, what? XCP&G? So I've gone as far as I spun up an XCP&G host just so I could add it, because I can't get their hypervisor. Ultimately, what I really wanted to do with this in the beginning was to learn about HPE's virtual hypervisor, right? I wanted to learn about their hypervisor, but Morpheus is like this all-encompassing thing that also includes the hypervisor, which allows you to, if you want, use Morpheus and have hypervisor. It's very similar to, their hypervisor is KVM based, so they can, you could do whatever you want with it. And so I'm still learning it and figuring out what's going on here. But like, I've got, where is that? Just have one compute thing added. That's not even showing it now. Still getting there, friends. But it's, I was having dinner with a guy, actually HPE, high payments for everyone. I think HPE is more like no support for you, no soup for you, no support for you. I was having a dinner with an engineer a night ago, and he made this interesting comment that I hadn't really thought of, and that was fundamentally, like, he theorized, and he works for a big hypervisor company, not HPE. And he'd said to me that, he'd wondered at what point there are no more GUIs for hypervisors anymore. There's no more Proxmox GUI. There's no more Nutanix Prism or Prism Element GUI. There's no Microsoft Hyper-V SCVMM or SCVMM or whatever, or anything. There's no GUIs for them. You just buy what hypervisor you prefer, and then you use a third-party neutral GUI that has API calls and ties into anything. So you have like a unified singular interface that handles everything. And then when he said this, I was like, damn, that actually sounds like what this is. And if that's the case, it's a really cool idea. Now, from what I've seen so far with this, a lot of what HPE is trying to do with it is create a platform here where if you ran this as a business, you could make it a turnkey, like, basically platform as a service where you were selling. Like, let's say that your business wanted to allow developers and engineers to spin up their own virtual machines. You can make it so that they know what the cost of this is. You charge their departments. So there's a bunch of chargeback stuff, which is very, very much a European sort of thing. Because in America, we don't typically do chargebacks. That's not something we do. But what did Levick say? Levick said, please, no, I don't want that future. I don't know. Guys, I like the idea of like having imagine an open source project, and maybe this is where it's easy to just throw an open source project out the window, or out the door. Like, I would love to be able to find a open source or I have no open source software coding skills. Who am I kidding? But let's pretend I did. In my mind's eye, a perfect world, I would love to have an open source neutral graphical user interface that allowed you to connect to Kubernetes clusters and manage them, connect to Docker Swarm or Docker clusters, or just Docker hosts, XCP and Proxmox, whatever, like all of these things, and then provide you the same user experience for all, and pull in the metrics, pull in the data, give you your nice graphical reporting and stuff like that. You guys can tell me that wouldn't be cool, right? Shout Technology says it's already here. I want to hear it. It's called Windows Core. I think he's sending me down a rabbit hole here. No, that's just the core installation of Windows. No, that's not. Now, get this man out of here. Anyway, I'm excited to try to get this figured out. I really ultimately want to do is understand Morpheus as it applies to HPE's virtual or hypervisor, since it's part of the community edition. I have emailed back to them and said, hey, disk broken, help them out. Right. So we'll see what they say and see if they can give me some information. But for a business as a neutral platform, so that your engineers don't have to know, or the people who are using this platform or turnkey stuff don't really need to know what the underlying virtualization platform is. I mean, there's got to be at least somebody in here who agrees with me on this, but maybe not. But I am right. Grish said, this sounds something like Portainer. You can pivot since they are just, that's a good point. Yeah, that would be cool. You know what? That would be neat, because I mean, Portainer does a whole bunch of, it'll do Docker Swarm. I think it'll do Kubernetes now too. Like, I'm just running single Docker instances, so I'm very pedestrian on that. But that would be, they should, and then make it open source so that normal people can use it without having to spend money. But so I've just started this. I really wanted to have more to say about this than now, but I'm just kind of really, before I talk to you guys about it and be all authoritative on video, I really need to understand it for myself. And so that's going to take a lot longer than I thought, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I have one last thing to, Grish is almost kind of like Susan Rancher. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I want to entirely change subjects again, because that's just how I like to do. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday night. I was sitting downstairs, and I was on my phone. Sure, we all are. Don't blame me. And I was on the Amazon app, and I was looking at computer hardware. I don't know what you guys do, but shopping for hardware is either going to be an eBay or Amazon for me. And Amazon added some dumb goofy thing, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's goofy. I screen recorded this because I felt like it's necessary. So I'm going to play this clip. It's roughly a minute and some 40 seconds, but it is. Let me preface this first. It's inside my Amazon app. They have added this new AI kind of podcast-esque sort of AI shopping channel that you have two voices who are talking about the product you're looking at. And I find this to be gross. I'm going to preface this and totally ruin your guys' opinion. I find this to be incredibly gross. And so we're going to watch this together, and I'm sorry in advance.
Today, our AI-generated shopping show is exploring the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 graphics card. Christopher, what makes this card special in today's gaming landscape?
Well, this is really where high-end gaming meets serious performance. The
Christopher's from
RTX
the UK.
4080
Listen to
packs
him.
over 9,700 QDA cores and runs at speeds up to 2.51 gigahertz. Or in plain English, it's built to handle the most demanding games without breaking a sweat.
I know some of our listeners might be wondering that who really needs this much power?
Who does?
Think of it like having a sports car engine. Not everyone needs it, but if you're into playing the latest games at their highest settings or doing intensive 3D work, you'll appreciate what it can
You've
do.
heard of those, right?
The dedicated ray tracing cores make games look incredibly realistic.
From what customers are saying, there seem to be mixed feelings about this card.
Right. According to reviews,
Right.
while people are impressed with the graphics quality, some customers feel it's overpriced for what it delivers. But interestingly, one customer reported their card stays really cool, below 60 degrees Celsius while gaming, which is pretty impressive for such a powerful component.
So who would you say this card is perfect for?
The NVIDIA RTX 4080 is ideal for enthusiast gamers who want top-tier performance and don't mind paying a premium for it. But if you're mainly playing less demanding games or working with a tighter budget, there are definitely more cost-effective options out there.
Thanks, Christopher. Looks like it's time for me to start saving up for my next PC upgrade. Or maybe just stick to my casual gaming setup.
Yeah, you should probably stick your casual game sound. That's it. I mean, come on. Like, have we reached peak AI slop yet? Is that where we're at here? It just having two AI voices, one clearly American, the second one clearly British with his accent. I'm not even going to try to do an British accent. And at the end, the female voiced AI person, I want to be clear, is like, maybe I should start saving my AI money. Come on. So I just saw this. I was like, this can't be real. So I started going around to different ones. Like I was like, okay, how far does this go? And so far I could only find it in like computer hardware. But man, can you imagine if they had like adult toys and they had the two talking about it? Like the comments they get, they're reading off of the comments in that people leave in Amazon, which now makes me want to just leave weird, wacky, out of the world. ACP, it didn't try to sell you a ShamWow. Try again. Like, I mean, imagine the ShamWow guy. He was great. He was. That guy did a lot of drugs. I mean, did you see him? Anyway, okay. So Shadow Technology said he's seen worse, but I feel like if we're going to do this, if this is the timeline that we're on, if we're going to be listening to AI slop. I mean, by the way, I don't think we're necessarily going to be listening to it because I'm never going to click on that again. I did this now for you guys, but we need to give them names, the AI voices that are not like human names. Instead of male voice Christopher, why don't we call him something like Designation 385 or something like that? So just some goofy. I did a little bit of Inception. I went to ChatGPT and I'm like, give me some names for AI bots in chats. And of course, it's all above board. And I really wish that it would have been more goofy and offensive than that. But I'm also not logged in because I didn't want this to be in my history. But let's call it Binary Bonanza, the Snarkinator. I feel like AI is playing with me. Sultan of Spam. That's a good one. Let's just call it that. Just Yeah, this episode, oh my God, they're coming in. I love it. It's so good. Kill Order 100, Slopinator, Allison. In this episode, US bot 374 and Britbot 986 discuss overpriced hardware. It's just so, I don't know, guys. Like, this is it. I didn't sign up for this timeline, but somehow we got on it. So I'm just thankful that you guys are here, and this isn't my own personal health. Yeah, and game over, Dave. You know, Dave, I wish you weren't right, but I think you're right. We are just at the very beginning. And never a more ominous phrase has been chatted across the internet. We are just at the beginning. All right, Shout Technology says, hear me out. Going down the rabbit hole. Okay, let's hear it. What do you got for us? I'm waiting. Anyway. So, friends, it's 6:21. We're roughly at our hour thing here. Yeah, don't talk to me. Yeah, there's a. I love it. That's the best part of hanging out with you guys is the comments. Today, in the dumbest AI will ever be. No, it's gonna get much dumber. Okay, all right. Let's friends, we're gonna swing this around and bring it to. I need to bring myself full screen here. Let's bring it to a close. I'm Rich Tesla. This has been the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. Thank you so much for hanging out. I enjoyed it. Oh. Hey. There. I just gotta click back and forth. We do this every week. We have a great Discord. You can get to the links. Go and sign up for our giveaway. At the worst, you get to hang out with some awesome people in a Discord and get to watch my content. At the best, oh yeah, Geek of All Trades. Where's the see, this is where I need Brandon in the background to be like doing the stuff. But anyway, there, friends, this is it. If you haven't already, use the phone to take a picture and then take a picture of the phone, as we said earlier. Anyway, friends, we'll do this next week. If you are feeling up to it and you are in our Discord, join our Discord. We do an after show where we hang out, talk for an hour or so afterwards, just kind of talk over each other, have a good time. And with that, we will bring this to a close. As the English say, I've been Rich Tesla, and we hope to see you next week. Go, click on it, do the thing. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.